You see your cat across the room, staring at you. Those big, unblinking eyes locked onto yours. The house is quiet. It feels like a private, profound moment shared between you and this enigmatic creature you love. What do you do? The answer is almost always the same. You stare back. Maybe you try to win the staring contest, a little game you play. Maybe you soften your own eyes and offer a gentle smile, trying to beam your affection across the space. It feels like a moment of true connection, a silent conversation where you are both fully present. But you are making a devastating mistake. You are not sharing a loving gaze, you are signaling a challenge. In the silent, ancient language of felines, your innocent stare is a threat, and you are accidentally telling the creature you love most that you are an adversary. This is a fundamental breakdown in communication between two entirely different species. For primates like us, direct, sustained eye contact is a cornerstone of social bonding. We look into the eyes of our partners, our children, our friends, and we see trust, sincerity, and love. It's how we confirm we are on the same page, sharing the same reality. But your cat is not a primate. Your cat is a mesopredator, a creature uniquely balanced in the food chain as both a skilled hunter and a vulnerable prey animal. 1,000 generations of instinct are screaming inside their sophisticated brain that an unbroken stare from a larger creature means only one thing. You are about to attack. You think you are saying, "I see you and I love you." Your cat is hearing, "I see you and I am calculating my next move." Every time you engage in this behavior, you force your cat into a state of high alert, a quiet, internal crisis. Their pupils may dilate, not with affection, but to take in more light and information about their potential aggressor. Their body might become subtly rigid, muscles coiled and ready to either flee or fight. You are, in that moment, not their safe, warm provider. You are a giant, unpredictable predator whose intentions are suddenly unclear. The safest room in their world has just become a place of silent, tense negotiation. And the tragedy is, you are doing it with the purest intentions. You are trying to connect, to bridge the gap between human and feline, but you are inadvertently using the language of war. Now, before you start replaying every interaction you've ever had with your cat, please understand this. You are not a bad owner. You are a human owner, attempting to love a creature from another world in the only way you know how. The fault is not in your heart, but in your translation. But this single misunderstanding, this innocent stare, is only the beginning of the problem. It sets the stage for a much more common and much more damaging interaction. Because the stare itself isn't the most corrosive part of this exchange. It's the one simple, almost universal reflexive thing that 99% of owners do right after the stare finally ends. This one gesture, which feels so natural and loving to us, is what can slowly and systematically erode your cat's trust over months and even years. It undoes all the good you do with warm beds, good food, and gentle scratches behind the ears. I will reveal exactly what that damaging habit is at the very end of our journey together, and more importantly, how to replace it with a single, elegant gesture that will fundamentally change your relationship forever. It will turn you from a well-meaning landlord into a trusted confidant, all by learning to speak a single, silent word in their native tongue. Now, please do not feel a shred of guilt. Let that sink in. What you've just learned isn't a sign of failure. It is the beginning of a profound awakening. This is a primal misunderstanding, a crossed wire between two vastly different species trying to share a home and a heart. Think of it this way. You are a primate. For hundreds of thousands of years, your ancestors survived by forming complex social bonds. Direct eye contact for you is a tool. It's how you signal trust, show affection, and build the very fabric of your relationships. It's a language of connection written deep in your DNA. Your cat, on the other hand, is a perfect little predator, but also a perfect little prey animal. This duality is the key to everything. In their world, a world of silent hunts and watchful stillness, a hard, unbroken stare from another creature means one of two things. Either, quote, 0 or, quote, 1. There is no third option. You are not a bad owner. You are simply speaking the wrong language with the best of intentions. It's like offering a beautifully wrapped gift to someone from a culture where that exact wrapping paper is a symbol of a terrible insult. The love is there, the intent is pure, but the translation is catastrophic. Every time you held that stare, you thought you were saying, "I love you," while your cat was hearing a declaration of war. But here is the beautiful truth. While you may have been getting this one signal wrong, you are almost certainly getting other, more subtle signals profoundly right, without even realizing it. You are already an intuitive translator. You just don't know it yet. Let's talk about something you probably do when no one else is around. The door is closed, it's just you and your cat. And the voice that comes out of your mouth? It isn't your normal voice. It's higher. It's softer. The pitch goes up and down in a sing-song melody. You use simpler words, stretched out and gentle. Underscore, underscore, quote, underscore, 3, underscore, underscore. You might feel a little embarrassed if someone overheard you, as if you've been caught doing something silly. But you must understand this. You are not being silly. You are speaking their mother tongue. Recent feline behavioral studies have confirmed what devoted owners have always instinctively known. Cats respond with far more engagement and positive affiliation to these higher-frequency, melodious tones. Why? Because it almost perfectly mimics the specific chirps and trills their mother used to communicate with them when they were tiny, vulnerable kittens. That baby talk isn't babyish to them at all. It is the sound of ultimate safety. It is the sound of their first protector, their first source of food and warmth. It is the sound of home. So when you speak to them in that soft, high-pitched cadence, you are bypassing their adult, cautious brain and speaking directly to the kitten within. You are reminding them, on a primal level, that you are a source of comfort and security, not a threat. You're not just a giant, unpredictable roommate. You are family. You have instinctively mastered the sound of love. But the silent, visual signals are where the deepest trust is won or lost. And that brings us back to that one damaging gesture, the reflexive habit that so many owners do right after that tense staring match ends. You've learned how to sound safe, but we still need to unlock how to look safe. And that secret changes everything. Imagine for a moment you are your cat. Not as a cute thought experiment, but as a genuine sensory reality. The world is a landscape of towering furniture and giant, unpredictable beings who move with a strange, slow purpose. You are a creature of exquisite sensitivity, a finely tuned instrument of survival, carrying the genetic memory of both hunter and hunted from thousands of years of your ancestors' existence. Now, in this state, you look up. The giant you love, the source of warmth and food and comfort, is looking at you. But the gaze is wrong. It is fixed. It is direct. It is unblinking. And in that instant, your ancient brain, the part of you that has nothing to do with domesticity and everything to do with staying alive, takes over. It doesn't see your human, your friend. It sees a predator. It sees a challenge. Your heart, a tiny, powerful engine, begins to beat faster. It's not a frantic panic, but a deep, thrumming acceleration, pumping blood and oxygen to your muscles. A cocktail of hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, floods your system. You don't decide for this to happen. It is an involuntary primal cascade. Your senses sharpen. The quiet hum of the refrigerator becomes a roar. The dust motes dancing in the sunbeam become a distracting flurry. Your muscles, designed for explosive speed, begin to tighten, coiling like springs, ready to launch you into flight or to anchor you for a fight. This entire complex biological event happens in less than a second, and it is utterly silent. From the outside, you just look like a cat, sitting still, staring. But inside, you are in a state of high alert. The safest room in your world has just become a place of silent, tense negotiation. And if this happens once, it's just a moment. But if it happens every day, multiple times a day, this low-grade state of anxiety becomes the new normal. It's a quiet stress that can build and build, sometimes leading to behaviors your human can't understand. The sudden hiding, the seemingly unprovoked swat, the over-grooming. It's the subtle, slow erosion of the feeling of absolute safety. You are living with a constant, low-level question mark hanging over the one being you depend on most. Now, as the human in this equation, I want you to do one thing. The next time you lock eyes with your cat and you feel that instinct to hold the stare, to win the little contest, just stop. Exhale and soften your gaze. Let your eyelids relax. Let the intensity drain from your face. This simple physical act is the first step in changing the entire conversation. It is the signal that breaks the predatory pattern. It's how you begin to say, I am not a threat. This is a safe space. You are consciously choosing to override your human, primate-based instinct for direct eye contact. And instead, you are offering a gesture of peace in a language your cat was born to understand. If you believe that this kind of deep, empathetic understanding can change a cat's life, if you think this knowledge can keep a cat out of a shelter by healing a misunderstood relationship, then subscribe to this channel. This isn't for my numbers, it's for them. It's for the millions of quiet, anxious cats who are just trying to tell us they're scared. Let's create a world where every cat is truly heard. Because softening your gaze is only the first word in the sentence. The next gesture you make is what truly says, I love you, in their language. And we are about to learn what that is. That unblinking stare is not an act of aggression. It is an act of assessment. Your cat is asking a silent, critical question. Are you safe, or are you a threat? Every fiber of their being is focused on you, not with malice, but with intense, analytical curiosity. They are reading the micro-expressions on your face, the tension in your shoulders, the rhythm of your breath. They are processing thousands of data points in a split second. This is not a casual glance. It is a deep, primal inquiry into your very nature in that exact moment. Your response is everything. It will either confirm their suspicion that you are a large, unpredictable predator, or it will unlock a level of trust you never knew was possible. The correct response is not to win a staring contest. It is not to look away in submission. It is to give them a long, slow blink. And I mean truly slow. Imagine you are trying to fall asleep, that gentle, heavy-lidded feeling. You soften your entire face. You let your eyelids drift closed for a full 2 or 3 seconds, and then you slowly open them again. As you do this, you are communicating in their ancient, nonverbal language. You are saying, I see you. I am calm. I trust you enough to close my own eyes in your presence. I am not a threat. This simple, quiet gesture dismantles the entire predatory sequence that a hard stare initiates in their brain. A predator's eyes are locked on, unblinking, right before a strike. By slowly closing your eyes, you are signaling the exact opposite of an attack. You are signaling peace. When your cat slow blinks back, it is not a sign of tiredness. It is a returned vow of trust. It is a sacred, silent conversation that confirms a mutual understanding. They are responding, I see that you are calm. I see that you are not a threat. And I, in turn, am not a threat to you. This is the feline equivalent of saying, I love you. It is an expression of affection rooted not in frivolous emotion, but in the most profound feeling a cat can experience: absolute safety. This is the bedrock of your entire relationship. And then comes the ultimate test, the moment that separates a good relationship from a truly profound bond. After this exchange of trust, your cat breaks the gaze and turns its back on you. For 99% of owners, this moment stings. It feels like dismissal. It feels like they've become bored or are ignoring you. This is one of the most tragic and most common misinterpretations in the entire human-feline relationship. A cat, an animal that is both a hunter and the hunted, would never, ever, under any circumstances, turn its back on a creature it feared or did not trust. That back is their most vulnerable point. It is where they cannot see an attack coming. By exposing their vulnerable side to you, your cat is not snubbing you. It is bestowing upon you the highest honor it can possibly give. It is a silent, powerful declaration of absolute, unconditional trust. They are saying with their entire body, I know you are behind me, and I know I am safe. That instinct to protect their back is wired into their DNA over millennia of survival. For your house cat to consciously override that ancient, life-preserving fear and present its unguarded self to you, that is the peak of feline affection. It is more profound than a purr, more meaningful than a headbutt. They are not ignoring you. They are including you in their circle of absolute safety. And it is in the seconds immediately following this profound gesture of trust that most owners make the one critical mistake we spoke of at the beginning. A mistake that can subtly undermine this beautiful, silent language you have just shared. At the very beginning, I promised to reveal the one common gesture that, moment by moment, can unknowingly damage your cat's trust. It's a habit born from love, a reflex driven by affection, and it happens right after that critical, silent negotiation of the stare. The mistake is not the stare itself, but the instinctive need to immediately reach out and pet them. Think about the sequence of events we've uncovered. You and your cat have engaged in a primal dialogue. They have assessed you, a giant in their world, and found you to be safe. They have offered you the slow blink, a sacred vow of peace. Or, in an even more profound gesture, they have turned their vulnerable back to you, a declaration of absolute faith. They have just handed you a fragile, unspoken truce. And your response, in that moment, is to immediately move your large hand through their personal space, to touch them, to take the affection you feel you've just earned. From our human perspective, this makes perfect sense. It's a reward, a celebration of the bond. But from their perspective, it is a staggering betrayal of the terms they just agreed to. You have invalidated the very trust they just offered. It's like having a deep, vulnerable conversation with someone, and the second they finish sharing their soul, you abruptly change the subject to something you want. The connection is shattered. The safety they felt evaporates. You have just demonstrated that their language, their offering of peace, is merely a green light for you to take what you want. It teaches them that their consent is not the final step. It teaches them that their quiet, I trust you, is immediately followed by an invasion of their autonomy. And so, the next time, they may be a little more hesitant to offer that trust. The slow blink might not come as easily. They might not turn their back at all. And you are left wondering why your cat seems so distant, never realizing you have been unintentionally punishing them for the very connection you crave. The real secret? The habit that will transform you from a well-meaning owner into a trusted confidant is this. After the slow blink exchange, after they turn their back, you must do the hardest thing for any loving human to do. You must do nothing. For 5 seconds. Just exist in that shared moment of peace. Let the silence and the trust settle in the air between you. You are honoring their gesture by allowing it to simply be. You are not rushing to consume the affection. You are savoring the agreement. After those 5 seconds have passed, you can then begin the true invitation. Slowly, without sudden movements, extend a single finger towards them, keeping it low to the ground. Not your whole hand, which can look like a claw or a predator's paw. Just one non-threatening finger. And here is the most important part of all. You do not touch them. You let them close the final few inches. You let them be the one to bridge the gap. You let them rub their cheek against your finger, initiating the contact on their terms, in their time. When they do this, they are not just allowing you to pet them. They are anointing you with their scent. They are claiming you. They are giving you their affection freely, not having it taken from them. By shifting from taking affection to receiving it, you give them all the power, and in return, they will give you all of their trust, freely and with abundance. This single tiny change in your routine rewrites the entire dynamic of your relationship. You are no longer the unpredictable giant who demands physical touch as payment for peace. You are the calm, steady presence who understands their language and respects their consent. Most owners will live their entire lives with their cats as loving strangers, sharing a home but never truly speaking the same language. But you are not most owners. You have chosen to listen. You have learned to hear the profound conversation that has been happening in the silence all along. You are now a translator, an empathetic decoder, an elite guardian of their trust. You have been given the key to a deeper, more authentic bond than you ever thought possible. What is the one behavior your cat does that you used to find insulting, but now realize might be a deep sign of respect? Let's decode them together in the comments.